There you
What happened to 3, 2, 1?
go. No, not yet, not today.
No 3, 2, 1. Okay, I don't get a heads up today. He's in a mood.
I'm in a mood today.
He's in a mood. Hi. I hope everybody had a great week. I've really been looking forward to today. I was scrambling this week to get things done. It seemed like I had so much on my plate and I didn't want to do a whole lot of it. But I needed to get a whole bunch of stuff done that had very little to do with painting. So I was a bit behind the 8 ball. So I apologize for being so slow this week. But we're going to have some fun. We're going to paint Boo. I've been wanting to do something with skulls for a little while, and so we're going to paint Boo. It's a fun little Halloween piece. It's got a little bit of lettering in it. It's got some fun little background details, and it's just a basic one. I'm going to show you how to do a really easy rustic-looking check on this piece too, which is super simple. You're going to love this, and it works for all kinds of things, not just for Halloween. You can use it for a bunch of things. But before we get on to that, we have to do our shout out for this week. And that is to Dawn's, let me see if I get this right, Dawn's Tumblers and Painted Signs. Now, the owner of that Facebook page is Dawn Levell. And a few months ago, she gifted me with just the most gorgeous tumbler for my coffee, for my iced tea, for my tea in general. It's absolutely fabulous. I loved it. It has skulls on it. It's got flowers on it. So it's right up my street. Yesterday, a box arrived in the mail. This time it was for Renee. And
For me.
so he got a tumbler from Dawn, and it's custom. It just doesn't get any better than that. It's absolutely fabulous. He loves it, Dawn. So if you're looking for a really great gift idea, you got to go check out Dawn's Tumblers. Now, this is so cool. It's got his name on it, but it's also got photographs of Dot all the way around. I'm guessing that Dawn pulled the photos off of Dot the Canine's Instagram and then printed them out and then made a very unique tumbler. Renee loves it. I think it's fabulous. And the wood grain is incredible. This is such a cool tumbler. And then she graciously included a reusable straw and the little brush cleaner for it too. Dawn, great job, and such a sweet thing to do. So if you're looking for a great gift idea, go and check out Dawn's Tumblers and hand-painted signs. She's got some great stuff on there, and I'm pretty sure she'll answer any questions you may have. Spend a few minutes on her Facebook page, scroll through some of her stuff. It's amazing. She does great stuff. So that's my shout out for the week. We had a lot of happy mail this week.
No kidding.
A lot of happy mail. Renee got tumblers. I got some amazing little gifts. Just the sweetest things. So I'm going to start with this one. These are fabulous. These little laser cutouts. These came in a little package this week, and with a sweet little note. This was from Mary Galliato. Mary, thank you so much for thinking of me. It's so sweet. And I absolutely love stuff like this. I have bins full because you never know when you're going to need like a little embellishment or a little something that you can bling up. You can paint it, you can spray it, you can mist it, you can stamp on it, do all kinds of fun things. I love the fact that you sent such a great little selection. Thank you so much. I really do love this kind of thing. And I so appreciate this beautiful card, the little thinking of you, and your note inside is very much appreciated. Thank you. So Mary Galliato, mwah, I love you. Thank you. And then I got a lovely little envelope from, let's see, it's from Karen Wilson. Karen is in Meaford, Ontario. And she sent me a lovely little note in here, along with a bunch of scans. These are color scans, and these are all different. They have these beautiful birds on them. And according to her note, that when her father, Ross Wilson, was a young lad living in Toronto, a local candy company, and the candy company is called the Patterson Candy Company Limited of Toronto, Ontario. They had these cards inserted in their candy bars. This is roughly 1920. So whoa. These are vintage cards. I would imagine they're highly collectible.
Probably worth a pretty penny.
And probably worth a pretty penny, but she scanned them all in for me. And she said, my thought is that if you want to, you could make copies of these on black and white LaserJet printer and then use them as a cool background. I hope you have a great weekend. Take care, Karen. Karen, thank you so much. This is just a wonderful gift to send.
You just can't Google either.
And it's not something you can just Google either. I mean, this would be something that was very local. So these are beautiful. All done of various birds and their eggs, butcher birds and Canada Jay. It's just a fabulous collection. There's quite a few of them here, and they're all different. I'm really excited about this because I love vintage imagery, and you can be used for so many different things. So, Karen, I promise you, I will come up with something that utilizes this wonderful gift. Thank you so much. Such a great idea. And what a wonderful thing to have from the 1920s. Just amazing. And then Janet Roach sent this little note along. I got the biggest giggle out of this. She obviously watches a lot. She said, I saw these tonight and thought of your love of cancellation stamps. So here you go. She's been inspired to think more outside the box. What a wonderful card. Janet, thank you so much. But look at this. A set of stamps and cancellation stamps. Now, these are going to get put to good use. I promise you. Absolutely love it. Thank you. And then I did have one surprise, but I have no idea who sent this.
Not a hot clue.
Not a hot clue. It came...
Obviously knows who you are.
And obviously knows where my tastes lie. But this box arrived, the return address, the address on it was for a distribution company. There was no note inside it. There was no bill, no nothing in it. So I have absolutely no idea who to thank for this. But in the package was this wonderful wax seal stamp, and it's a dog paw print inside of a wreath. It's a beautiful stamp. I even tested it to see what kind of quality it produced, and it's beautiful, very clear and clean. And then to go along with that was a journal. Look at this. Is this me? This
Skulls!
It's gorgeous. And oh, I just noticed something. There's a rose embossed on the back.
Oh, wow.
I didn't notice that. It's an absolutely beautiful journal. Alternating colored pages. It's got the ribbon in it to hold your page. It's an absolutely beautiful journal and so unique.
Yeah.
So unique.
And it's definitely within your realm of taste.
Definitely within my realm of taste. Greatly appreciated. I have absolutely no idea who I have to thank, but I want you to know how much I appreciate it and just what a beautiful and thoughtful gift it is. Thank you very much.
You've been canceled. What?
I've been canceled. Yeah, the cancellation stamps. So, yeah, a ton of happy mail today. And then, of course, I've been kind of obsessed with this lady I've been following on TikTok. She does these wonderful little journal pages, and it always incorporates color swatches and things like. I love her stuff. Never been much of a paper crafter. I usually end up embedding paper into other things, but I just really love it. I sit and watch her do these pages for hours on end because they're incredible. And anyway, so that's my latest obsession is now I've started collecting all these bits of paper, and I even got myself a journal so I could try some of it. So
I'm going to butcher that last name.
Okay.
So I'm not going to bother, but Debbie is a first-time viewer, and she's very much looking forward to what we're painting today.
Painting Boo. Okay.
Painting Boo.
This is a fun piece. It's not a difficult piece. This one goes right back to basics. We're talking base coat, shade, highlight, and then we're going to throw in a few little simple techniques just to make things stand out a bit. This is not meant to look like the absolutely meticulously, perfectly painted Halloween sign. This is meant to look a little bit distressed and a little bit rustic. So we're going to have some fun with it. So don't beat yourself up if it doesn't look absolutely perfect, because you'll understand why it doesn't when we get started on this.
You'll know why.
We'll know why. Because we're going to start with an imperfect surface, and then we're going to paint over top of it. We're going to use some stenciling, and we're going to have a little bit of fun. And I have absolutely no doubt that we're going to have a few laughs along the way, because we usually do. Most likely. We'll get the food thing out of the way right off the bat. We're having chili tonight for the second time this week because I made so much. Took 2 attempts, mind you, to get a decent chili, but I finally got chili.
Well, the only reason the first one failed was... you took a phone call.
I took a phone call and it scorched the bottom of the pot. So yes, I was less than impressed with my first attempt. So we ended up having leftovers. And then the next day I attempted to make another pot of chili. This time I went back to my usual method, which was using the slow cooker, and got carried away and made a very large batch of chili.
Distressed and rustic?
It is going to be a little bit. A little bit. So, well, if you guys are ready to get started on Boo, so am I.
What's this? Claudia Sepulveda celebrates 6 months of membership.
Yay, Claudia! She should be getting her pin soon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So happy to be here. Sometimes watching in between my clients. I do hair.
Oh, my goodness.
Thank you so much for all your education and fun.
I could use a good haircut. That's my next thing.
Is it?
Yeah, I gotta get a haircut. Get my a proper haircut instead of just myself.
I saw one the other day that I'm pretty sure they get you stoned before you get a haircut.
Yeah.
With how much paraphernalia is around.
Oh no, I don't want paraphernalia. I want to be able to go, I'm done.
There, hair done.
I want a decent cut so that I don't have to spend hours with the curling irons and the hair dryers and, get up in the morning, run my fingers through it, and I'm good to go. That doesn't happen
Like me.
at this age. Yeah, like you. That's a thought. I could shave my head.
Shave your head.
All right.
All right.
If you're ready to get started, so am I.
Woo. Hopefully.
Hopefully. Here we go. Are we good?
And you're going to have to move it to your right. There you go. And down a bit. There you go. You might have to scooch over.
Okay. Well, I can scooch.
There
Oh,
you go.
yeah, I was all the way over there. So this is Boo. This is a fun piece because it doesn't rely on, perfect floats. It's meant to look a little distressed, a little bit rustic. It's not going to have that, that made in China, it's been stamped and stenciled look because of the way we're going to paint this. And we're going to put on this rustic border. It's super easy to do. Super easy to do. And we're going to have a little bit of fun doing that. But let's talk about that background first.
They're already wondering what surface.
This is a 6x12 arched panel. We do have them on the website. If you're looking for them there, they're also available from cdwood.com. So if you are a big fan of cupboard stripping and have some other things that you need to order from them, then go and check them out because they do have this panel. I use this one a lot because it's a great surface. You can do so many different things with it. So the background, I have started with one coat of Bahama blue. I know you're shocked by that.
I'm going to turn off autofocus here. Give me a second.
Okay.
It's bugging me already.
It's bugging me. Yeah. So the background for this is one coat of Bahama blue, and I used a coarse brush. What I used was one of these, my fugly brush. And it is just slap-slapped on. It is not a neat and tidy base coat. And the reason I did that is that it creates some nice little cross-hatching texture on that background. It's not super coarse, but it's a little bit. So you can still see, a few of those little tiny brush marks in there. And they go in a variety of directions. So when we do our colors over top of that blue background, it creates a nice little visual texture. As you can see, this does not have that super smooth look in the background. So that is why I put the base coat down the way I did. I wanted to maintain that sort of rustic, distressed look. So super easy. Our next step for this is to throw a little movement into the background. Now, in the original piece here, I used a 3/8 polka dot stencil. You could use whatever size you want to. You could use the random polka dots if you prefer. That's entirely up to you. I'm going to use the random one this time around for this because I can. and just to prove the point that it doesn't have to be what nice uniform polka dots either, because we really don't want a perfect, concise polka dot back there. Where'd the stencil brush go? I lost my stencil brush. I've been here 5 minutes. Lost my stencil brush.
Which is really surprising.
I cleaned them all. That's why.
Wow!
I sat down this morning, spent 45 minutes, and cleaned all my stencil brushes. Now I can't find anything. Okay, so we're going to do this with a little bit of warm white. I have already transferred my line drawing on. That doesn't matter.
Sandy McTeer. Hi, all. Popping in and out as I clean the studio of mine. That is an absolute wreck.
Yes, but you had fun doing it, Miss Sandy. I know you did. I saw pictures.
And $20 for the peppers from Teresa Casper.
Terry, thank you so much, honey.
A pear character dancing under a rain of confetti and taking his hat off to say, "You're amazing."
There we go.
I can't actually see the sticker, so I get a description.
Yeah, he gets a description, so I can't see it. Well, thank you, Terry. Last month of April, $145.
$145 for the peppers. That's a spay.
That's a spay, exactly. So in that super chat thing on, I know some of the people on Facebook don't know what the super chat is. On the YouTube channel, they have this option on super chat that you can make a donation either to the channel, like to the channel or whatever. And Renee and I agreed that anything that comes through off of the super chat is going to go to our local SPCA.
Instead of our pocket.
Instead of into our pocket, so, or back into the channel. Yeah. So on a monthly basis, we collect up all of the donations made through Super Chat, and then we send off that amount to our local SPCA. And for the month of April, it was $145.
Yay.
And that's awesome, because it means that, some puppers is going to get the spay he needs or the medical treatment that he needs. And the kitties are going to get fed, and they'll have kitty litter and whatever. So we have
we post the receipt.
Yeah, we post the receipt. And if at any time you want to see it, we're happy to provide it. So just so you know that's where it's actually going.
I'm pretty sure that your microphone's working.
Is my microphone working?
Yes.
Okay.
I couldn't see the monitor on it, so.
So all I'm doing is just putting some white polka dots back there. I'm not worried about getting them perfectly opaque either. I just don't think that it's necessary, to be honest. We're just creating a little fun back there. Just so it's not, boring.
Juan Carlos from Colombia.
Bom dia, Juan. No, this is, we do love our puppers. Miss Dot thought that she had, all-terrain tires on her wheelchair the other day.
Yeah, took my dad for a spin.
She took Dad for a spin in the bush. So I've got some nice random polka dots back here. Now, here's a fun thought. You don't necessarily have to put polka dots back there. You could put bats. You could use that bat stencil. That would be cool.
Yeah. You could use the paw stencil.
Oh, you could use the paw stencil, yeah. Yeah. So you could put almost anything back there. The idea is just to create a little bit of pattern in behind all of the design elements that are within this. So it doesn't have to be polka dots. It doesn't have to be 3/8 polka dots. It doesn't even have to be dots. It could be stripes. It could be... Wow. I like the idea of doing the bats, though. I think that'd be fun.
Holy
what?
No, Sandy's just throwing links out there. Oh. You mentioned a stencil. She pop. There you go.
Yep. But yeah, that that bat stencil would work great back there. There's all kinds of things you could put back there. You're not married to absolutely having to use the polka dots. I am kind of obsessed with this random polka dot stencil these days, though.
You're obsessed with polka dots.
I'm obsessed with dots and circles in general.
Okay.
Cancellation stamps round. I have no idea why. It's just...
Is it a phase?
Hopefully.
Next it'll be triangles.
Well, hello.
Oh, yeah. Too late.
Yeah. So that's as difficult as that gets. It's truly not a difficult background to do. They are imperfect. They are incomplete. They're not opaque. We're just creating a little pattern back there. So we don't have to work hard to do that.
Ooh, what color would you do the bats?
I would do purple.
Purple?
Yeah, okay. Like a lavender purple. Nothing too dark. I would go light.
Sandy with the link to the bat stencil.
Don't you think that'd be fun with the bats back there? I think it'd be fun.
She's fast.
She is. Girl could throw up GIFs like nobody's business, too, I might add.
GIFs, GIFs, whatever they're called.
Whatever you call them. I call them GIFs. So our next step for this is to create a little bit of shadow. And we're going to do that with some Prussian blue. And this just separates a few things.
Linda Safranco. Okay, so I'm here, Renee. Tell everyone what the prizes are today. I believe it is Dynasty Black Gold brushes.
Yes, there's a set of 4,
Okay.
including a specialty brush called the Fandango.
The Fandango.
Fandango. It is a specialty brush for doing hair. You
Fancy
can do
brush.
like really fine beards and things like that. It's an amazing brush.
And we got
So,
3 of those.
We have 3 sets of black gold to give away. I believe there's a fountain brush, a filbert wave, a Fandango, and I think a flat shader in that set. So there's 4 brushes. I think, yeah, it's 4 brushes. And then there's a couple other goodies in there too.
Of course.
So we always throw other goodies in.
Oh, my eyes. Itchy.
Oh, and I'm so excited. I didn't tell you about this.
Have you consulted a professional about your obsessions of yours?
Yes, daily. My obsession with dots? And
No,
spots
just
and
any of your
circles?
obsessions.
No.
No. You have not sought professional help?
No.
No? Okay.
Just because I said I was obsessed didn't mean that I was upset about it. I'm just saying. So I'm using a little bit of Prussian blue, and I'm going very light with it. And these are not perfect, pretty floats.
Ooh. Will you show us how to use the Fandango?
Absolutely, I will.
You got one ready, or?
I don't. I'm not going to show them right now.
But
Because I'm floating.
well, no. I mean, like,
Oh, yes, I will.
do you have one available?
It's in the... There was a pile of brushes. They're right there.
There you go.
I had a whole pile of brushes sitting here as I was packing up
You can show them later.
giveaways. Yeah. So, Fandango is a really cool brush.
You don't have to show them now.
Well,
You can show them
I
later.
got it now. So this is a Fandango.
Whoa.
And it comes in a variety of sizes. This is the smaller one. It's very delicate, similar to a fan brush, but it can be used like a rake. So when you load this with paint, you can get those really fine, beautiful, soft beards. Now, if you want a really good example of how the Fandango is used, go check out Jilly Bean's website.
Oh, yeah.
She's got videos on how to use the Fandango. She also sells the Fandango because she uses this brush a lot. And it is, to watch her do it, I know how to use it, but she makes it look like the most incredible thing. She's phenomenal with it. But this is a Fandango. So in your giveaway pack today, there is one of these so that you can try your hand at working with a Fandango. They're beautiful.
Works great for gnome beards.
For gnome beards, for hair, for Santa beards, which is where the Jill comes in, because Jill does the most incredible Santa Clauses, and then she does these amazing beards. So
Back
I'm
to floating.
putting a float of that Prussian blue. He's going to check on Miss Dot. And we're going to finish out the floating on this. I'm putting my float on the inside left, darkest value towards the left, like so. And then on the outside right, this is going to create a bit of a shadow or imply a shadow. And make sure you get in that little notch there. I like doing this before I start base coating, simply because it gives you the opportunity to keep things nice and neat. And if you go over the line drawing, that's okay, because you're going to base coat it anyhow, so it's all going to get hidden. So I'm just putting that, everything on the right hand side, as you can see, and then don't forget to go along the bottom a little bit. This is going to help lift this little guy off of it. We're going to put that same shadow around that candy corn. I know I probably have not got this looking like a real candy corn, but I will tell you the reason why. One, Not something that we Canadians see a lot of. Candy corn is something that is perhaps more in American Halloween than it is Canadian. Although you do see it from time to time, it's not common here. So I had to actually go look up candy corn so I get the colors in the right order because I have no idea. It's just not something I'm familiar with. But I thought this would be fun. Because I wanted orange in this one, I really wanted this orange to pop off this background. It looks great over a turquoise anyway. So I'm going to put my Prussian blue. You'll notice that this is not a neat and pretty, tidy float. Doesn't matter for this. Because there's so much else that's going to go on in this piece that it doesn't really matter. There we go. Oop. So I'm just putting a little bit of a shadow around my candy corn. Just like that. And then once we have all of this done, we're going to take that same float, that same Prussian blue, and we're going to go all the way around the inside edge of our border. And this is what I love about doing this first because it looks really sloppy, but it's going to work out in the end, I promise you. So I'm going to take that same color and I'm going to go all the way around the outside edge, right along that border, like so. And into those corners. Now I like to walk that color out a little bit in those corners because I like a dark corner. And this is just a super fun. Don't be afraid to go right over everything. It's okay. We're going to base coat all of it anyway. Just like so. Get right up onto that line. I know it's going to look really sloppy for a little bit. That's okay. Now, I'll tell you a secret. You are never going to get a perfect float, like a nice smooth looking float on a surface that has all these brush marks on it. And that's the whole point. This is going to give our surface a really rustic look. It's going to have a really nice sort of distressed appearance. I'm just putting a little bit of that color in a few places. It's not really a shadow. I'm just sort of slapping some of it in. There we go. So it changes its appearance very quickly. And I'm going to rub out a couple of lines there. I love taking a little bit of that blue and just sort of slap it in a few places. You're going to see those brush marks. That's a good thing. I can see them right in here in particular. And I like this look. It's going to be fine. It's going to work really well for this. So if your floats aren't absolutely perfect, don't beat yourself up over it. We're just separating everything at this point. So it is not going to look really pretty just yet. So easy peasy. Neatness doesn't count. Perfection is to be avoided at all costs for this. So our next step for this, and we're going to start putting in that border. And our border is done with a 1/4 inch flat shader. The one I'm using is just a Deckwart brush. You can use any 1/4 inch flat rate. You know, this one's they call it a number 8, but it's actually about a 1/4 inch wide. And so you're going to pick up a little bit of your warm white. I'm going to start right at the edge. See the line at the corner? I'm going to press down and pull. So it gives me a check. And then the next stroke is going to be roughly the width of the brush. Roll the brush over and leave a 1/4 inch space. Again, if they're not perfect, it doesn't matter. So we're just putting in a little square of white. It is not going to be perfectly opaque. That's okay. Don't beat yourself up. But you're going to leave about a 1/4 inch space in between. You're going to go all the way around the outside edge. Just like that. Super easy. Don't beat yourself up over it. Neatness doesn't count. Oops, there we go. So it's going to be approximately a 1/4 inch space between each of these little white squares. It doesn't matter if they're perfectly opaque, doesn't matter if they're perfectly square, doesn't matter if the space between them is exactly a 1/4 inch, it doesn't matter. Approximately will do. In this particular case, close enough is close enough. So check this out. So I made one a little bit wider because I had a little too much. And then I came around the corner and did that. So approximately a 1/4 inch space. And I do say approximately. Kinda, sorta, maybe. Close enough. Close enough is close enough in this case. So there we go. And then that last one, I always fudge a little bit so that if it doesn't quite meet the edge of that line, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Oopsie.
I'm so OCD, I would have to mark the 1/4 inch space.
You could do that, certainly, if you're worried about getting the accuracy, but you don't have to. The brush itself actually will tell you.
Karen's got Jackson with her, and he's watching.
Little Jackson, oh my God, that kid has grown up. Wow.
And Karen Jones also says, Happy Mother's Day to all the moms tomorrow.
Aw, what a sweet thing. I almost forgot that it was Mother's Day. It's been one of those weeks. I've just been busy. I'm forcing myself to get out of the house a couple of times a week, too.
What size chisel brush?
This is a number 8, but you can use like a 1/4 inch flat shader. You just need something that's roughly a 1/4 inch. But this is a number 8. And I do mean approximately.
Oh, Debbie would like to know what floating is.
Floating. Okay, that's an easy one. Floating is when you load your brush with a small quantity of paint, and then it is blended out so that you create a gradient. I'm going to finish this out, and then I'll be happy to demonstrate that.
There we go. That's what she was looking for, I think.
Yeah. It's easier to demonstrate it than it is to explain it. So
she'll show you.
I'm almost finished with this check, and then it's got to sit there and dry. So it'll give me an opportunity to answer Debbie's question. I've been doing this so long that sometimes I forget that not everybody knows what all that terminology necessarily means, especially new painters. So, and nothing's more frustrating than not being able to get an answer to a question, especially for something that is considered a basic for decorative painting. Okay, floating.
Bring in the palette.
I will tell you this, Debbie, that most of us that have been doing this for a while refer to floating as the F word. And with good reason, because it is one of those techniques that is essential. It takes a little while to master it. But once you get it down, you can do almost anything. That's the trick.
Oh, you might as well show the sponge trick, too.
I'm going to if I have a sponge.
I can go get you a sponge.
Can you get me a clean sponge?
Sure.
So I'm going to... I have to grab something to demonstrate on.
You got a palette right there?
Oh, well, no, I don't want to do it on the palette. Got to do it on something. I can find something. It's all good. There's no shortage. A clean one. Okay.
Maybe. Not
Basket. Bottom
Basket.
shelf.
on the shelf.
Bottom shelf.
Got it.
Wet.
Are those scrub daddies?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so floating. I'm going to do this with Prussian blue. I might as well, because then that way you'll be able to see it. Floating. Floating color is as simple as this. Your brush needs to have a good amount of water in it. So the brush needs to be wet. And then what's called a tip load, meaning that you're just picking up a small quantity of paint on one corner of the brush. So now whether it's a flat or an angle, it's just going to be on one corner of the brush. You're going to brush the paint out. Now, it's not unusual to see people do this, but that only loads paint on one side of the brush. So you have to flip the brush back and forth and work into that little puddle of paint that you've created. And then once you've done this a couple of times, you're going to move the brush forward into that puddle of paint. So I'm going to move forward, and then I'm going to move back. And then what that creates is you get a gradient where it starts at the darkest value at the corner where you loaded it. And then in the process of blending and walking the color out, you create a gradient. So you have the darker value here, and then it gradually fades out as it goes towards the other corner of the brush. So this is what you get. Darkest value on one side, lightest value on the other. And this helps you create shadows in things. So when you hear me use the word float, this is the technique that I'm referring to. And this can be done for shading, but it can also be done for highlighting. So if you're using a lighter value color, say a white, that's for your highlight portion. And if you're using a darker value of your base color, then it's a shading color. Now, the biggest challenge to learning how to float is to get the amount of water in the brush right. And I have a trick for that because it's a hard one to master. So I use one of these. This is a kitchen sponge, cellulose kitchen sponge. Get it good and wet and then wring it out almost to the point where, there's no more water coming out of it. Then you get your brush wet and you tap it to the surface of the sponge, both sides. And it draws off any excess moisture that's in the brush. You pick up, brush on your surface, back and forth, walk into it, and float. This takes a little practice. So I recommend practice it. Practice it on a piece of watercolor paper, on a piece of cardboard, or a painted piece of cardboard, what have you, until you get that balance, that float in there. Now, if you're really struggling with this, you're having a really, really hard time getting that float to do those nice things, then here's the trick. Take your brush, clean water, blot, float the surface with the water, just brush it on. Then load your brush. Go to the area where you just wet it. It will help you get a nice smooth float. So, hopefully, Debbie, that helped.
Yeah, there was a question about floating liquid, I'm guessing.
Yeah, there is a floating medium.
Yeah.
There's a variety of them. Essentially what that is a lubricant. A floating medium is generally a lubricant. It's usually a water-soluble oil.
And you would use it just like...
It's added to the water. It's a conditioner.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah.
Just add it to your water.
Yep, and add just a few drops to your water.
If you can learn to float, you've got it made.
Exactly. It's
Oh, yeah.
one of those key skills. Now, you can get meticulous, perfect, absolutely flawless floats. I've found over the years that layers of floats give you better results than trying to get it all done in one shot. So I'm a big fan of layering floats. Layer, layer, layer.
Oh, there's Patrick.
Patrick, I sent you some goodies.
Yes. Floating takes a little practice, she says. I'm only getting better after years. Now I have understood how much moisture I need to hold.
Yes. And that is the biggest key, is learning how much moisture that brush holds. Some of us get it right off the bat and others really struggle with it. But a lot of it has to do with your brush. So generally when I float, I use 2 brands of brushes when I'm painting for the most part. I use a Dynasty Black Gold and I use a Dynasty Faux Squirrel. I love my black gold brushes because I love that razor sharp chisel edge. I also love that really nice point. These brushes are durable. They're fantastic. And they hold a fair amount of water. I love my Faux Squirrel, especially on textured surfaces, because this sucker holds a lot of liquid, a lot of moisture, and a lot of paint. So I can go a long way on textured surfaces. So I use my Faux Squirrel for anything with a rough texture, anything with texture in general. And then for smooth surfaces, I like my Dynasty Black Gold.
Would you use a different water conditioner for that, or would you put it in your dirty water?
I keep it separate. I've always, right now mine is a mess, but I don't use a flow medium myself. I have used it, but I don't use it. I use this. This is Joe Sonia's Fast Dry Glaze. This is a glaze medium. I use this instead of water for floating and shading and highlighting and line work and base coating. This is my everything medium. So instead of water, this is what I use. And it does the same thing with one exception. This one does not compromise the quality or the pigmentation of the paint or its adhesion. So that's one of the reasons that I gravitate towards using a medium. So we are ready to start putting in our opposing checks on our border.
Gail Woolsey, if you're having a bad floating day, just pack it in and try again tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, and we've all had those, believe me. So I have a little bit of lamp black, and I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the white. So here's my black in the corner, alternating to the line, and I just fill that space.
How do you keep your fast dry glaze from getting dirty? Oh, it doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't. I keep it in a small jar like this instead of having a great big container full of it. I keep it in a small jar. I rinse my brush before I dip into it. But for the most part, it's going to be very hard to avoid getting it really gunky after a while, which is why I don't keep a large quantity of it in that jar.
Yeah.
So
She dips into it with a clean brush first and then preps her float.
yeah. I make sure that if I need to pick up more glaze, I will rinse out my brush and just reload. It's the easiest way. But, I mean, it's unavoidable. You're going to get some gunk in it. It's going to get grungy looking after a while. And when it does, I just dump it out and rinse my bottle. And
It doesn't grow a skin like the acrylics do.
no, it doesn't.
No.
It stays liquid. And I keep a little, it's one of the reasons I use that little jar, is because I can just cover it. But it doesn't develop a skin. It doesn't get thick. And then when it does start to look a little grimy and gray, I will just dump out whatever's left in here and rinse the bottle and fill it back up. So I never put more than, 2 ounces at a time into that thing. So an 8-ounce bottle goes a long flipping way, let me tell you.
Hard to find time to paint when there's so much yard work to do.
Yeah. My poor husband is out there doing yard work
Oh,
today.
no, not anymore.
No?
No.
Good.
He's done. He put down the gravel and set up his wood drying thing.
Oh, good. And is Miss Dot back in, or?
Yep, she's laying on her bed,
Okay.
hopefully sleeping. Apparently she was a menace to society out there.
Oh, was she?
Yeah. She was just, I want to go everywhere where there's people.
Yeah. She took my husband on a merry chase through the bush the other day, wheelchair and all.
That's my fault.
I think it's funny.
For those who don't know, Dot is a former search and rescue dog, so running through the bush is what she was bred for. But now she's in a wheelchair, so it's a little bit more entertaining.
It's entertaining, but I mean, she just doesn't seem to care if there's stumps and whatnot in the way.
No.
Off she goes.
No.
It's like, wow.
She can run as fast in a straight line as through the bush.
Yeah.
So
She's crazy.
I've had a 60-foot lead on her tight.
Yeah. Oh, she goes. And she loves being out in the woods.
But my issue with Dad taking her out in the woods right now is it's the beginning of tick and flea season.
Yep.
And I haven't treated her for tick and flea yet.
Yeah.
So until she gets that treatment,
Yeah.
I'm not taking her to the bush.
Nope. She's so funny. Not to mention the fact that my husband hobbled himself this week.
His foot is black and blue.
He's still going strong.
Not strong, stubborn.
Stubborn. Yes, that's the word I was looking for. Thank you.
I do the same thing.
I know.
Is it broken? Yeah, keep going.
It's all good. That doesn't hurt much.
I haven't been able to find quick dry glaze. I found all kinds of glaze, but none of them say quick dry even on Joe Sonia's website.
Joe Sonia's fast drying glaze is what it's called.
Would any other glazes work?
Joe Sonia's has one called Magic Medium. It will do the same thing. My personal taste, I don't really care for the viscosity of it. I find it a little bit thick. It's not as thin as I would like, but it will do the same thing. It's just a little thicker for me, and I prefer the thin.
I didn't know there was an Ottawa, Ohio.
Now you do.
Now I do. Somebody's watching from Ottawa, Ohio.
So
that was Mary Ann Dooling.
So there is our quick and easy checkerboard border. Boom. Boom. I like this because it looks a little bit distressed. So I'm going to dry this real quick, and then we're going to give it a light sanding. Because this part's just fun. It needs to be dry before I do the next part, too. So.
Is it with your high-tech applicator?
No, it does not.
No.
But it is going to involve a BAB.
A BAB? Oh, man.
We're going to use a BAB, which is a big-ass brush.
Oh, YouTube's pretty quiet today.
That's okay. Oh, Lord.
Did you really?
I did. Just drop my brush in wet paint. Yuck.
That's par for the course.
Seems to be. So I'm going to take a sanding sponge. I got these nice little sanding discs. I love these things. I have a fine one, but I tried it the other day and I found all it did was just smear paint around. I didn't like that. So, I'm just going to lightly sand right over top of that black and white check until I start to see a little bit of that Bahama blue peeking through. I just want a little distressed look all the way around. Comme ça. I know, I just think that a Halloween piece should not look perfect. Ever.
I found out that there's a Looneyville, West Virginia.
I'm not
Are you-
touching that.
Really?
I think there should be one here in New Brunswick.
I'm pretty sure there is. I think it's right next to Dildo.
That's Newfoundland.
That's in Newfoundland.
Yeah. Hello, Newfoundland. So, I have taken that sander to the edges of this. And so I've just got a little bit of blue peeking through. I kind of like that. And we're going to grab some asphaltum.
Okay, I'm not seeing anything from YouTube right now. What's going on? Give me a second.
So I'm going to, I've got a nice big wide flat shader, and I'm going to corner load with a little bit of asphaltum because I want a nice big wide float for this. And I've thinned out my asphaltum quite a bit.
Uh-oh.
What? Uh-oh.
There's a cat.
Oh, Miss Soot. And I'm putting a nice dark float, well, not too dark, but a nice float of asphaltum all the way around the outside edge. Darkest value to the outside. Like so. Going all the way around this piece.
Okay, they're here. They're just not showing up on my...
Oh, okay. They're not showing up on the software.
Yeah, they're not showing up on my multi-stream.
Okay.
I don't know why.
So now I'm just making sure that float goes all the way around the outside.
Waves at Renee. I see you now.
And then I'm going to just sort of slap so that I get that, a little extra in the corners. Just like that.
I'm going to refresh chat.
There we go. See, I'm very partial to sort of that aged look. I like that in the corners.
Soot is here for the Halloween piece. Yes, Halloween cat for the Halloween piece.
Yep. Right now, she's sitting at the top of the stairs, giving me the evil eye.
We'll let her out before she starts screaming.
And she will. So there is our super easy border. I love the look of this. It's just super easy. And it looks nice. So just make sure this is good and dry before we start doing the next part. So we're going to go to our lettering over here on this. I chose a really unique color for our lettering. I went with dragon fruit, which is this bright pink. It's a great color. It's a great color for this. So, and I'm going to use my number 2 rigger, which is that skinny brush that I use for lettering all the time. And we're going to base coat this lettering with dragon fruit. Now, this lettering has got like little bites out of it so that it looks a little rustic. Oh, this brush is in bad shape. It won't hold its shape anymore.
Is that your rigger?
Oh, it's just, I think hits. Nope.
Oh, there we go. We got YouTube back on the multi-stream again.
Okay. I gotta see if my other rigger will work. That one didn't. They do hit the point. I think mine are just worn out. They've seen a lot of painting in the last little while. So just when you're painting this lettering, make sure you don't paint over those little notches because it kind of gives this lettering a nice aged look. A little distressed. To me, it looks like something nibbled on them.
Yeah, we're pretty sure Soot is a Siamese.
Yeah, she's part Siamese at least. She's very loud and very vocal.
Yeah, that's the...
Not to mention, she's deaf. So she can't hear herself. And so the volume goes up.
Especially when you go into the pantry with her.
Yeah.
I think that's the only place she can hear herself.
I think it's the acoustics in that. It's the only room in the house she can hear herself. So it's like, oh my good Lord. She's very loud. And very talkative. And Gizmo woke her up the other day. I have a heated blanket. And I keep it folded on the ottoman in the living room, and she was sleeping on it the other day, and Gizmo walked into the room and decided that it would be a good time to, check to see if she was actually alive. She was, and not very impressed at being awakened either, I might add. The fact that she doesn't like Gizmo is another big.
I find it funny.
It is quite entertaining, but he can be such a little ass. It's like he lives just to annoy her.
I always forget to wash my brush before dunking it into my glaze. The paint seems to just settle at the bottom.
Yeah, it does.
The rest stays clean, yeah.
Yeah, but after a while, the water the glaze just gets a little grungy looking. So,
Yeah, Jilly Bean should have Fandango brushes on her website.
yes, she should.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's got some great videos on how to use it too. Like really great videos.
I checked on Sandy's and Tracy's site. No Fandango brushes.
No, there's none on mine, but they do have them on Jelly Beans. And she has some great videos. You can go and check out her YouTube channel. She's got great videos, particularly on how to use a lot of the Dynasty specialty brushes. She's brilliant at it.
Completely black with green eyes. Yep, that's soot.
Yep. And she's mouthy.
We had a cat that was part Siamese. He was very temperamental. Yeah, that sounds about par for the course.
She's very affectionate, but everything is on her own terms.
A bit strange to see the lettering done before the rest of the piece.
Yeah, I don't usually, but because the lettering is in behind everything else, it's in behind the heads and whatnot, I wanted to do it first.
I think that's Gizmo.
The amount of noise there was coming down those stairs, I would say.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. It's like somebody threw a 15-pound bowling ball down the stairs.
And it's a cat. I'd be worried if there was, an 85-pound dog coming down the stairs right now.
Yeah.
She doesn't seem to do that much anymore. I think she's figured out, I can't do stairs unless it's carpeted.
Yeah. Yeah, she doesn't take too many chances anymore.
Mm. My son has a seal tip ragdoll,
Oh, they're so pretty.
and he's very chatty as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Gizmo.
Yeah, he's mining for gold in there. He's
He's special.
he's special. That's putting it mildly.
He's shaped like an avocado.
Yeah, Gizmo is shaped like an avocado. I think he's tipping out at about 22 pounds right now.
He's just a big boy.
But he's big all over. Like
Yeah.
he's just a big cat, but he doesn't really meow. He murphs.
I call him Stumpy.
Yeah, because of the stripes on the front end of his body, it looks like his front legs are shorter than his hind legs.
So I call him Stumpy.
We call him Stumpy because he's just, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, here he goes. Murr. Oh, there's a meow. That doesn't happen very often. He is a character. Now he's going to go in and play with that cardboard box.
Nailed it.
Gizmo has an obsession with cardboard boxes. And not in the way that most cats have an obsession with cardboard boxes. He's just weird.
He sounds like a marching band all by himself.
Oh,
Yeah?
yeah. Entirely goes to the beat of his own drum, I'm telling you.
Oh my god, a 22-pound cat. Jeez.
He's a silver point tabby.
Yeah.
So big, he has a gold undercoat, and then he has this bright silver gray and black tabby stripe.
And he's like a petulant 2-year-old when you pick him up.
Yeah.
He just dead weight.
No, he just goes dead weight. I don't like that.
Hey, Stumpy.
Yeah.
What's going on, bud? Don't hit the cameras, please. What's going on, buddy?
Oh my God. There. So we've got, I'm just putting in one coat because we're going to put a highlight on and we're going to put some shading in, and this lettering is going to change with each layer of color that we put on. So I'm not going to be worried about whether or not that base coat is fully opaque, because at this point it doesn't matter. And I like what the turquoise does for this pink. Gives it sort of a, I don't know.
I don't think they've ever seen Gizmo.
You can't miss him if you do.
Here, let's do a quick...
Assuming he stays there.
Yeah, he's right there. That's Gizmo.
Where's the Gizmorator?
Oh, you'll see him. Really? On live TV?
Plunk.
Hey.
Oh my God. Okay, you can switch back. I don't think they need to watch that.
There you go. Say hi.
You're gifted, Giz. That's Gizmo.
Yep.
It's funny because you see him on camera, he doesn't look that big. But when you pick him up, we measured him one day. He was, 37 inches from the tip of his nose to the end of his tail. Like, he's a big cat. His tail is 18 inches long.
He's a big cat.
He's a big guy. And he has web feet.
Yeah. And he doesn't care about water.
No, he loves it, actually.
Your rating will drop? What? No. I think he's fine.
PG-13 out the window.
He's a cat.
Oh my God. Oh. So I've got my base color into my lettering. I'm going to make sure this is good and dry before we do this next part. Good grief. So I want to make sure that my lettering behind this skull has got a nice shadow on it. So we're going to go in with a little bit of Tuscan red. Now, I chose Tuscan red for two reasons. One, it has that same little bit of blue base that's in that dragon fruit. It's going to work well with this turquoise, this Bahama blue in the background. It is also a nicely transparent red without being horribly transparent. So we're going to use that color. And where's my
We're going to go to YouTube jail.
YouTube jail? Wouldn't surprise me.
That's hard to do.
I almost ended up in Facebook jail the other day because of a post.
What?
Yeah, apparently I shared it too much. Well, not too much, but too quickly.
Oh.
And they asked me if I was a robot, and I said no, and they said, "Are you sure?" Most of the time, yeah.
Apparently Nathan is watching you?
Nathan, the cat.
Oh.
He wasn't watching me. He's watching Gizmo. So I'm going to...
Cat porn?
Yep.
What?
Ew. Hello. So I'm going to put a float of Tuscan red at the base of this letter. And then I'm going to walk it up a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect. Remember what I said about all the other floats in this? They're not perfect. Just as long as you get that placement, it's about the only thing you really need to worry about is getting it in the right location. So now I've got that nice dark float at the bottom of that letter. And I'm going to do the same thing. You're gonna
You
have to
sure
be
he's not part Maine Coon? He doesn't have the...
He doesn't have the tufts.
He doesn't have the tufts on the ears, and he doesn't have the boxed face.
No, he doesn't have that squared off face. His face is very round.
Yeah, very Scottish fold-like.
Yeah. But his overall size and the web feet kind of indicate it, but
That's about it.
that's about it.
Otherwise, the rest of him is a tabby.
Yeah. Although, I have to say, he does have the personality of a Maine Coon. Just, sweet and mellow. I swear to God, if that cat got any more relaxed, he'd slip into
If
a
he had
coma.
front claws, he'd be a great mouser.
Yep. If he had claws, he'd be a great mouser. Just as long as that mouse didn't have any catnip.
That is his best friend.
Yeah. Gizmo has his own teddy bear.
Oh, he has his own teddy bear.
He has a teddy bear that he hugs. It's hilarious. But even funnier is when he carries it around the house and then you find it tucked into wherever he's napping.
So you're really thinking I really didn't need it? I bought a Ranger heat gun.
Love my Ranger heat gun. Love this thing. Best thing since cookies.
I got it 2 weeks ago, and I've used it every day.
I know, right?
I don't know what I'd do without it.
Yep.
Tracy, should we trace a line to have all the floating at the bottom of the lettering? Getting to the same height of all the letters.
I don't, because it really doesn't matter. I just sort of wing it. Wherever it ends. So, about the halfway mark, I would say. But no, I don't really see the need to put it in because you're just going to wing it and tuck it in there. And where it ends up, it ends up. I like it.
Gizmo is a morning cat.
Yeah. He's mobile in the morning, unconscious the rest of the day.
Yeah.
So, I've got my shading in. I'm going to dry this real quick. I put 2 layers of color in. I don't really see a need for it to get any darker. I think 2 is plenty. But again, that can be adjusted after the fact too, if you find that it needs it. I'm going to switch to a smaller angled shader next, because I'm going to put in a highlight. So I'm going to switch to 3/8. So I've got a 3/8 faux squirrel. I want lots of moisture. We're going to put a highlight at the top of our lettering. And I'm going to do that with a little bit of warm white. And it's going to be well blended. You're going to thin it out. You don't want it full strength.
My dogs won't let me have a cat. Sure they will. You just got to make the cat the boss.
Yep.
What is it? Gizmo and Dot.
Yeah. They've come to an understanding.
They have an understanding. Gizmo's not allowed to run by her.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he gets nipped.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Because she wants to chase him.
Yeah. Wants to play.
She wants to play. But he does it on purpose.
Yes. You're paraplegic.
Yeah.
Chase me, I dare you.
Yeah.
But they could be nose to nose and have no issues.
They're fine. Oh, hell, they curled up in the same bed together.
Yeah.
And they're fine. But when Gizmo's wound up, it's a different story.
Yeah.
Because she wants to play. So I'm putting, this is just a weak float of warm white, and it's going on the upper right side of the lettering, just like so. And I leave a small space between the brightest part of the float and the edge of the lettering. I know it's not easy to see, but if you look, I've left a small gap. So that float doesn't come directly to the edge of the letter. It comes in just slightly. So it leaves a little space.
There. I have to zoom out in order for you guys to see the palette.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but right now you need to be able to see it close up. So this is my float. So it comes in just slightly from the edge And do the same thing on that exclamation mark on the outside there. And again, I'm leaving a little space at the edge. These are not perfect floats. Not even close. They're not meant to be.
Daisy met a cat.
Yes, Daisy did meet a cat. Poor little Daisy ended up at the vet.
Got the snoot boop.
Yeah, she got her snoot booped.
Too close to a kitty.
Too close to a kitty. They didn't want the dog close to the kitty.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got my highlight in place. And there's only one thing left to do with that highlight. And we're going to grab our, any kind of a liner. I've got a fine, this is my 10-aught rigger, little teeny tiny rigger. I'm going to put just a stroke of white on that highlight side, just in from the edge of my highlight. So the highlight went on the edge, in from the edge, just by a little bit. And then I'm doing the same thing with the stroked in highlight. I'm coming in just slightly from the edge of the first highlight. And this is going to give us a nice punch of light. This is essentially that light impact point, that point where the sunlight actually strikes the surface.
I think we should take a small break.
Okay.
And spin the wheel.
Ooh, I think so.
Just give me a second to bring up the wheel. 173.
Nice.
Oops. That one doesn't count.
We do have a little bonus prize too.
You want to do a little bonus prize? Give me a second.
You'll never guess what it is.
Is it paint?
No, it's not paint.
Oh, dual brush pens.
Yeah. So, a little bonus prize we're going to do today. I am going to be having some new product available on the website pretty soon. I do believe it's going to be shipping next week.
You can look at the camera.
Oh, there it is. Okay. We've got some Tombow products coming to the website. I'm really excited about them because...
Sorry.
Now what'd you do?
Oh, you're kind of blocked off by the wheel now.
Oh, okay. Whatever.
And our ad for the day is Expedia.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm looking at all the names in the list. Cool.
There we go. Let's
Spin it.
spin it. Let's spin it. Let's see who we get.
There's 170 some names you put in there.
173.
Wow. Somebody's got to win.
Somebody's got to win.
Well, while I'm at it, I wanted to send out a shout out, Debbie Matthews. Dear, hope you're feeling better. I know that you haven't been well the last little while, but I wanted to let you know that we're thinking about you. And hopefully you're feeling a bit more the thing and that you get back to painting pretty soon. Cindy Paints. Cindy Paints. Okay, Miss Cindy Paints, you're going to have to let us know which Cindy you are. And send us your shipping information. Just go to the homepage on my website at tracymoreau.net. Down in the lower right-hand corner is a great little speech bubble. Click on that. Send us your shipping information so we can get your Dynasty brushes out to you right away. You want to do one more?
Sure.
Okay.
There we go. And ding. Terry Casper?
Yay, Terry. Right on. Terry, I think I have your shipping information. Matter of fact, I know I have your shipping.
Casper,
It is Teresa Casper.
It is.
So I know we have your shipping information, honey, so don't worry about that. The bonus prize for today is a 10-piece set plus a bonus piece of watercolor favorites from Tombow. These are the dual brush pens. These are flippin' fantastic. If you haven't had a chance to play with these, they're amazing. I have a whole set of these because they're awesome. Anyway, so we have a great set of these to give away today as well. We're going to leave this one right towards the end of the day. And
Precious.
yeah, these are fantastic. I've got some Tombow products coming to the website soon. The Tombow Pencils we have. They're amazing eraser pencil. You're going to love these. They're phenomenal. I have like 5 of them because I use them in everything. They're really great. This is what they look like. They're refillable. This is called the Mono Knock eraser. I have fallen in love with this. And so I've got a bunch of these coming for the website. And the other thing that I absolutely fell in love with is their mechanical pencil that I've been using. They're weighted. They're beautiful. The quality is exceptional. So we've got some of those coming too. So I'm excited about that. And I'm also excited about painting this piece.
No, all right. All right. I got to switch. Yes.
Yay. So we're going to get started. We got our lettering in, and I love the lettering the way it is. I like that it's not absolutely pristine, that the background color peeks through in a few places, that it's got little bite marks and everything out of it. I love that. I like the highlight. I like the deep red, especially on that pretty blue in the background. But this needs a punch. We need some heat in there. And so we're going to do that on those candy corn.
We're going to use some neons?
I'm not using neons today.
What? No neons?
No neons. I know, that breaks your heart.
I like the neons for highlights.
Yep. Well, there's not really a lot here to highlight.
No, that's true.
You know?
Nothing really needs to be highlighted.
No.
For a Halloween piece, it's still very light.
Yep. So I'm using a little bit of Sunny Day, which is that soft buttery yellow, and we're just going to base coat all those triangles. And it'll probably take 2 coats. And I chose this color because I wanted a little bit heat, but I also wanted something that's going to be fairly opaque. So I'm using Sunny Day to cover all of these triangles. And usually 1 coat will suffice, but if it looks a little streaky, just let it dry and then we'll give it a 2nd coat. Sunny Day is probably one of my favorite yellows. Never been a huge fan of yellow, but Marigold, Sunny Day, and Saffron, my favorite yellows. Now, if you had a stencil the same size as this triangle, you could use the stencil brush to do this. But I tend to gravitate towards my rigger for these little areas because I can get a nice square edge. And again, I'm not particularly worried about whether or not these are perfectly straight, because they're going to look a little distressed when we're finished anyway. So and I've used 2 shades of orange on this candy corn. I've used Orange Flame and Spiced Pumpkin, which is a color that I haven't used much recently, but I do love. It's more of an autumnal orange. I tend to use it a lot in the fall, and for fall designs, so I guess that's okay. It works fine right now. So we have Sunny Day on our candy corn. I do like painting Halloween stuff. My color palettes for Halloween tend to be a bit less than traditional. Orange and black is garish to me, so I tend to avoid using those too much. So I tend to bring in a lot of brighter colors, like the Tuscan Red and that Dragon Fruit. I tend to lean into bringing some of those values in and those tones in. Purples, I love purples, I love greens. And again, I tend to go a little more non-traditional, and my colors tend to get a little brighter. So my purples might be lavenders instead of the, grape juice and whatnot. And the oranges tend to be very fiery, so I use lots of bright oranges. So it'd be orange flame. Instead of pumpkin, the colors are going to get a little brighter. Same with my greens. I lean towards things like margarita and olive green. And I like the brighter values for Halloween stuff. And I like playful. I prefer my Halloween to be a little tongue-in-cheek. So I come up with things like, teddy bear voodoo dolls and whatnot. So almost done. I just got to tuck a little more Sunny Day in here. And again, I'm not too worried about whether or not they're fully opaque at this point. I just want to make sure that they're fairly uniform. As long as they're evenly painted, they don't have to be perfect. I like it. That's why I like doing all of that shading beforehand, because when you do this part after the fact, all of that shadow, all that shading looks so neat and tidy, when in actual fact, it really wasn't. But it never looks that way after the fact, especially using that method. So you end up with nice looking edges, clean edges, with very little effort. Super easy. So I'm going to dry these. And then we're going to put in the other colors of the candy corn, which is going to be that orange flame and that spiced pumpkin. As I said, I had to go look at a candy corn to figure out how to paint them. One would think it wouldn't be that difficult, but apparently it is. At least it is for me. So I'm going to dry these real quick. And I didn't want these stripes to all go in the same direction. So I've got spiced pumpkin and orange flame. Those are my two colors. And something tells me I've got them in the wrong order anyway, despite my efforts. But I don't think that that's a big deal. So spiced pumpkin and orange flame are the two colors. I'm going to rinse out my brush. And I'm going to start with the bottom of my candy corn. And we're going to put in that orange flame, which is that bright orange. And it's going to be about 1/4 of an inch wide. I did mark it off in the line drawing it, but I'm just winging it myself.
Oh my.
What?
Where's Bob? Where's Bob? Where's Bob?
Where's Bob? Bob's right here.
Bob's never far.
Bob's never far away.
That's like it's like 4 videos without a Bob mention.
Oh my goodness. Can't have that. Yeah, Bob is never far away. I keep him in the same little shelf that I keep all my paint in the little cart next to my painting table, so that he's handy.
Can't find any spiced pumpkin. What do you think of tangerine?
You know what? A tangerine would work. Bright orange will work. Persimmon will work. Any orange will work. We just want a variety of orange tones, that's all.
Bob looks a little frayed around the edges.
He is looking a little worse for wear. He has been through the mill. And we're coming up on almost 2 years. It'll be 2 years in June that we've been doing these lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 years in June.
2 years in June, and at the end of this month.
Yeah, a full year with the membership group.
Yeah. So we gotta do something special, a special live or something.
Yeah. I think we might have to do an extra live.
An extra live?
I think so. I think it'd be fun.
I was thinking of doing a stream at the art gallery.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
But I think I would want to do it when it's complete.
Yeah.
Because I walk through the new entrance.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
They got some local artists painting some murals right now.
Mm. It's exciting.
So I'd love to do a live stream through the art gallery.
Yeah.
But I would have to talk to the director and see what legality.
Yeah, see what the rules are.
Because they don't allow filming of the Rio Pel exhibit right now.
Oh, well, no.
Because it is a Montreal exhibit.
Gotcha.
And it's just...
In case you were wondering, soot just shot through here like
now
she owns the
she's
place.
cleaning.
No, she's up in her little perch.
Should do a membership plug. No, we don't really push the membership program.
It's fun. I love doing the membership program. It's challenging for me too. I'm hoping it's challenging for the members, but it's challenging for me as well. I'm always looking for new ideas and to keep everything fresh, so they're not just doing the same thing over and over and over again. So throwing in new techniques and new ideas and changing up the subject matter from time to time and just having a blast. I've thoroughly enjoyed having a membership group. It's been so much fun. And them posting their finished pieces the last few days have been insane. They're beautiful.
Yes, the membership club is lots of fun.
It is a lot of fun. I enjoy it.
But I'd have to see what
Oh,
we would be
cool
allowed
idea.
to film.
Yeah.
It might not be a live, but I think we could do a video on just touring the art gallery.
Going through the gallery, yeah, we could do that too. I'd love to do that. I think we wait until it's finished because it's
getting close.
yeah. The gallery that we're talking about is the Lord Beaver Brook Gallery, here in the city of Fredericton, in our little city here. It has a rather impressive art collection for what I think most would deem a very small gallery. It's just undergone a major overhaul, major renovation. It's had some truly spectacular donations made. They also, don't they have a, what's his name? The artist. Jeez, my brain just shut off.
Salvador Dali.
Salvador Dali
Yes.
display on there.
They have 5 of his paintings.
Yep.
2 of which are portraits of James Dunn.
Yep.
One is of Lady Dunn.
Wow.
And the 4th is in repair because it fell off the wall. Yeah. Don't worry. I saw it on the security cameras. Nobody touched it. It just,
Chunk.
it fell. It happens.
Oh my.
So it's getting its frame repaired and its canvas tensioned and all that. So expensive labor.
Yep.
And then the crown jewel, I guess you could say, of the Salvador Dali is El Grande.
El Grande. Yeah, that's a spectacular.
It is a 3 meter by 7 meter tall canvas. And I can't remember if I can't remember what saint, but it is a giant horse coming out of the water.
Yep.
And it is huge. And it looks like it's printed.
Yeah. Well, he was a surrealist.
Yeah. And fabulous work.
Yep.
And there's some masterpieces there as well.
Yep. There's
Turner.
Turner. That's the one. There's a couple of Turner pieces and If I'm not mistaken, there's some Whitakers in there too. Watercolors.
Can't remember if they might be in storage.
Yeah, they could be. But
Yeah.
It seems to me there is. But yeah, we have a rather nice little gallery.
Expensive gallery.
It is nice, and it's undergoing a major renovation, so it's getting a serious facelift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Inside and out.
not so much inside.
Yeah.
It's the main entrance that needed work, because otherwise it was basically 2 double doors and then you were in.
Yeah. So it's it's come a long way. So I've got candy corns painted again. I started with orange flame for one stripe, and then the second one is the spiced pumpkin. So I'm going to dry these, and again, I'm only going with one coat because I don't think that more is really necessary for this. We've got that sunny day down, so it acts as gives us a little opacity. Now remember that we have that texture from the base application. So it's got the brush marks. It's going to create a little bit of texture in everything that follows. So don't try to hide it. The whole point is that texture is going to create the overall look. So I'm going to dry that real quick.
Patrick Penafus visited the Salvador Dali Museum in Florida in 1994.
Nice.
His paintings are amazing, seen from close. Yes, they are.
I saw the Salvador Dali exhibit in Paris.
Oh, wow.
Long time ago.
Long time ago.
Long time ago. And I saw the Renoir exhibit.
Of course you did.
Because that's my favorite. And the Picasso exhibit. The Picasso exhibit to this day, although I have never been a massive fan of the abstract or cubism or anything like that, to this day, the Picasso exhibit is still one of those ones that I would go back in a heartbeat to see. It is well worth seeing.
So far, there's 2 paintings in there that catch my eye every time I walk by them.
Yeah.
And that is the one of St. Martin, one of the oldest paintings in there, of course. And it would be Venus Visits Vulcan.
Okay.
And if you don't know that story, get a brush up on your mythology.
Yeah.
But Venus Visits Vulcan it's the Vulcan Forge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's because you look at that and you can't see brush strokes.
Yeah. I think everybody has, like, once you've been to a gallery and you see some of these original pieces of work, and I've heard it from a number of people, the first time you see a particular favorite is either very disappointing or awe-inspiring.
Yeah.
I've heard people say that when you go to the Louvre for the first time and you see the Mona Lisa, most people are like, meh, because it's not very big.
It's not.
It's
a portable portrait.
It's a portable portrait. But I think because we only ever see them in books, we only ever see them in these beautiful coffee table books, that they become very larger than life. And then when you see the original, you're either awestruck by it or you're a little disappointed in it. And I know my first reaction to the Mona Lisa was, wow, it's so small. I was expecting it to be much larger.
Yeah.
In my mind. But to this day, I have to say, the one painting that still resonates with me is The Birth of Venus.
Okay.
The one I'm talking about,
Yep.
the lady standing in the clamshell. For years,
Mm-hmm.
even as a student, I had always ever seen it in a book. And it talks about the painting and, all of the detail and whatnot is incorporated in it, that it's a breathtaking piece of artwork. And then I went to the Uffizi Gallery and I walked into the room where The Birth of Venus was hung, and I just stood there, and I'm pretty sure the click that I heard was my chin hitting the floor. Because it was just wow. Wow, because she's larger than life. She's absolutely stunning.
The Musée d'Orsay is more up my alley.
I like the d'Orsay too. It's a beautiful museum, but I think just because of the sheer volume of artwork and the variety of artwork that you see at the Louvre is
underwhelming.
It's overwhelming. Yeah. It is.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah, it's overwhelming. The d'Orsay is a bit more intimate, I think. Okay. But again, beautiful, incredible pieces of work. But I know every time I've walked into some of these galleries, world famous galleries, and you see pieces of work that you've only ever seen in a book, most of us are awestruck by them for a number of different reasons. So I'm putting a shadow, it's just a little float of asphaltum on one side of this triangle. Doesn't really matter which side, to be perfectly honest.
Nancy McNeil gets set up with the membership group. It depends on what platform she's trying to sign up with. If she's on a laptop, you just click the little blue button that says join and then go through the payment process.
It's if you're on an Android, it's a little easier, but if you're on an iPhone,
good luck.
Good luck. Every app is different. I would recommend if you're going to sign up, then to wait till you get to a computer to do it, because it is a bit problematic working from an app.
And make sure you use the same account throughout. Yeah. And yes, you do have to set up a YouTube account in order to join up the YouTube membership program, because it's just how it works. Yeah. We set it up thinking that it would be easier, and it on the financial side of it, much easier. Yeah. There's a lot of other issues that went along with it, but
and then once you have your membership set up, it usually takes us about 24 hours to locate your information. But if you're not already on my site, if you don't have an account on my website, go there, set one up. It doesn't cost you anything. You're not obligated to anything on the website, but it does help us assist you. So if we have your information with your email address, we can grant you as a member access to downloads that no one else has access to unless they're a member. So that's where you're going to go to get your free patterns. Where you're going to go to get your free downloads. And there's a bunch of other stuff that's available to you there. And then once you're a member, you have access to all of the videos that we've done previously in the last year. So you can still go back and watch all of those videos. So I'm going to highlight my candy corn. I'm going to do that with a little bit of warm white on the opposite side. And I'm coming in a little from the edge again. Little float. Opposite side of that shadow. So if the shadow is there, I'm going to put my highlight on this side. And again, there's no real rhyme or reason for how these are highlighted and shaded. Just get some highlights on. And again, it's not super pretty highlight. Come in from the edge. This just makes them look a little more dimensional. Kind of rounds them out a little bit. And we'll put a final highlight on just to give them some oomph.
Yes, there's a ton of free patterns as well.
There's a ton. I try to put up, you get a monthly pattern as a member, but I try to put up other little freebies and whatnot at least once a month. Sometimes I just run out of time, but for the most part, I try to get at least one little freebie up there for you every month. And the same with just on my website, there's a whole section in there that's full of free downloads for everybody, not just for members, but for everybody. So they can download some of my free printables. There's some patterns that we discontinued ages ago that are up there that we just put up there for free now. That's fun. So I'm going to put one last little highlight on my candy corn. This is going to be a nice little bright stripe, again, just in from the edge of that last float. That's just a little light impact point, like so. It's just going to make them look a little bit shiny. Just a little bit.
Can I zoom in? Sure. I am limited on what I can zoom in on, though.
Yeah. So
there we go.
So we've got those great little triangles. So now they've got a little highlight on them so that they have a little curve to them. Makes them fun, but they're not difficult to do. But so I'm going to dry this so I don't end up smearing paint for that next stage. So we have eyeballs.
Eyeballs.
We have eyeballs and noses to do.
Van Gogh is very impressive when you see it.
Mm.
The one that surprised me was the Sistine Chapel.
That's awe-inspiring.
It is, but at the same time, I was kind of disappointed.
Oh, really?
Well, I was thinking it was all one big piece, but I didn't realize it was basically all the books of the Bible.
Yeah.
And it was different stories.
Uh-huh.
I thought it was all one big piece.
No. The Sistine Chapel is a whole series of,
yeah,
in every panel of the
so
the
I was a
ceiling.
little disappointed to see them broken up like that. What?
Oh, the first time I saw the Sistine Chapel, it was under restoration.
Oh, was it?
And so certain areas of it were literally masked off. You couldn't get handy them. And then, but one of the things that they did was they had camera set up, like a movie camera, video camera. They had it set up, and then they had that connected to a television so that you could watch the fellows doing the restoration.
Oh, wow.
So you could watch them on that. So they had film.
It's
basically.
probably for insurance purposes as well.
Probably. But it was fascinating to watch. And then, but the thing that got me was seeing some of that stuff up close. Like, standing on the floor, you don't see it.
No.
But when you have a camera mounted, watching and filming it, I was surprised to see how little detail there was in the actual painting. And again, it's all implied detail. Because for the lack of a better term, what you're looking at up there is a mural.
Yeah.
And so they don't need to have the minutiae, all the teeny tiny details. They just need to be implied.
No one's ever going to be that close to it.
Other than the guy fixing it. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but it doesn't take away from the grandeur of it when you're standing on the floor.
That is very true.
It's spectacular.
And that chapel itself is, like, the architecture of it is phenomenal.
But you know what really, I think...
The gargoyles outside were neat.
I think the thing that really impresses me in general about a lot of that, going through the Vatican and, you know, going to all of those. One, the sheer age of those buildings.
Yep.
And then, I mean, some of them are close to 1,000 years
you
old.
You didn't go post 9/11.
No, I did not.
You should see the amount of security.
It was bad enough when I was there before. The first time I went to Rome, I arrived in Rome on Good Friday.
Deb is here.
Miss Deb.
Miss Deb is here and caffeinated.
Yeah, and she's going to want to talk to you about Daisy.
Uh-oh.
But you can do that after.
What's up with Daisy?
Oh, they just have a little issue they want to deal with.
Uh-oh.
And she wants your recommendation.
My recommendation.
So we're going to start working on the skulls because we got all the fun stuff done.
Skulls.
Now, when I painted mine all have orange eyes to match the candy corn, but you don't have to do them that way. You could do them any color you wanted to. So if you decided you wanted your lettering to be purple and you painted it purple, then match the eyes to the lettering or match the eyes to the background or paint them all different colors. That's entirely up to you. I went with the orange just simply because, well, it matched the candy corn. That's my only reasoning. They match the candy corn. So I'm going to grab my little rigger and I'm going to grab a little bit of Sunny Day. Now I'm just choosing Sunny Day. I could do this with warm white too if I wanted to. I'm just putting a little base down. And my reasoning behind this is that I used Sunny Day under the candy corn, so I'm going to use Sunny Day under his eyeballs. Because I'm going to put orange over top of it anyway, so I just want to have something a little opaque underneath it. That's all.
Oh, Deb and Daisy.
Daisy.
That's a good combo name. Deb and Daisy.
Yep.
That sounds like a YouTube channel. Just saying.
That little thing is so stinking cute. She ate one of Deb's brushes the other day. It's funny. Not funny, but funny.
She dropped it, didn't she?
Well, I don't know. Miss Daisy's
You allowed it to get in reach.
Yeah.
It's your fault.
Miss Daisy likes to play.
Oh, yeah. She's a pup.
Yep. So, and they went to their first puppy class. Be curious to see how that went. I think it went okay.
Miss Daisy is recovering from nasty cat scratches.
Yeah.
Yeah. She learned her boundary.
Yep.
The cat gave her a boundary. Didn't listen. And got scritched. And not the kind of good scritches.
Nope. But she won't go near that cat again.
Probably not. Puppy class was awesome. Good.
Like Miss Dot and Dad. That was so funny. Yep. She thinks she's got ATV wheels on that thing.
I think I might have to go get her some
cross-country wheels?
Yeah, some pneumatic ones.
That would be funny.
I'm thinking about putting her in her other wheelchair.
Yeah, the smaller one?
The narrower one.
Yeah.
For going cross-country and on trails like that.
Yeah.
But I also think I'd want to put some better tires on that one too.
Yeah.
2 cats. Vicious attack?
Oh, no.
2 cats. I had an English bulldog that got kicked out of puppy class. Well, English bulldogs aren't really known for listening.
So I'm putting a little bit of orange flame over top of that Sunny Day that I just base coated in there.
Oh, there's a good one. Could you base coat all black and then put the yellow and orange?
Yes, you could, but you will find that putting all that black in, you're going to end up with yellow and orange over top of the black. I like doing the yellow first, and that way I can clean up any little bobbles and wobbles, and it'll work like a charm. There is a method to my madness, and it usually relates to me not wanting to have to do touch-ups. I detest doing touch-ups. And this is how I avoid them.
Yeah, cats don't normally instigate a fight.
No, they don't. They're usually defensive.
They're usually very defensive. If they're instigating a fight, it's usually over territory.
And it's usually against another one of their own sex.
Yep.
Either female or another male.
And to do it towards a dog is very rare.
Yeah.
To instigate an attack. No. Unless there's something like health wrong with the cat.
Yeah.
Sometimes cats don't warn. Oh, no, they warn. They warn very much.
Yeah.
They're very what's the word for? They communicate their intentions very, very openly.
Yeah.
Dogs can be very subtle.
Yeah, cats not so much.
Cats are very, very open in what they mean.
Growls, low growls, hisses. And usually if a cat is really aggressive, it's because they've got little ones nearby, and almost always because they're in a defensive position.
And attacked with no warning. You just didn't see the warning.
Yeah. Generally how it goes.
Yeah. It's like dogs. People say, oh, he bit me for no reason. No, there was a reason.
We just don't know what it is.
You didn't see it. And if the cats are normally in that area, or wherever it happened, that's their territory.
Yeah.
Daisy's the new one.
Poor Daisy.
I feel for the dog.
Yeah. Well, and it's probably not even the dog's fault. She probably didn't realize cats were there until it was too late.
Yeah.
So, but there's always a reason.
Time for me to go, ladies and Renee. Time to get dinner ready. Have fun. See you on Facebook. We're here next week. And we'll watch the end of today's class later. Bye-bye.
Yep.
See you, Patrick.
So, I'm going to dry this real quick, and then we're going to start adding the black. And this part is fun because you get to clean up, as I said, you get to clean up a whole bunch of little wobbles and bobbles.
Oh, they were kittens. Yeah. That would do it.
Yeah.
Kittens is enough. There's probably out of fear.
Yep. Just a fear.
What was this? We had a Maine Coon cat next door who would go after any sized dog. Used to wall along the top of our fence and tease our dogs. That's about right.
That's about right.
Maine Coons are pretty gutsy.
Yep. They're not afraid of too many things. In general, they can outrun a dog.
Karen had to go to emergency and to the vet. What? What happened?
Karen. Is that Deb saying that?
Yeah.
Not Karen Beaupre.
I think so, because apparently it was in Karen's shop.
Oh, out at the farm.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've had squirrels do that to my dog. You gotta be careful, squirrels.
Squirrels are assholes. They're asses when it comes to dogs. It's like, you can't catch me.
Yeah.
Okay, so the eyeballs are just going to be this lamp black. I know I've got the dot drawn in. Don't worry about painting around that, because you're just going to drop that in anyway.
Oh. I took Daisy to the vet and had me... Oh. Marjorie? Oh, major bites on her hand. Ouch.
Oh, from the cat?
From the cat or the dog? Vicious squirrels, too. Vicious squirrels. Okay. Were they bites from the cats or from Daisy? So I understand where Daisy's coming from, because she just had her face attacked by a cat.
Yeah. Poor puppy.
So. Tetanus shots and rabies shots.
Yep.
Cats? Really?
Oh, the cat's bit?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're vicious. Cat bites are nasty, too. They got to be treated.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we're going to fill in these eyeballs, just the pupil with a little bit of black, like so. These little guys take shape really quickly from this point on.
I'll tell the story later. Okay. Ooh, ah. It's about that time.
And we're going to have fun. So I think Renee is going to take off. Where are you going? Walk dot?
No.
Okay. Coffee?
Bit of both?
Bit of both. So I've got all the eyeballs in. So he looks a little bit bug-eyed right now. But I kind of like that sort of droopy eye look. So I'm going to switch from my rear to a smaller brush for this because I want to put in some fine lines. And so I'm going to fill in the rest of the eye with the lamp black, and I'm bringing that black right up to the edge of that orange, like so. Just want to create sort of a droopy eye look with these eyeballs. I like this part. I just think they're fun. Just like that. I like the fact that these eyes, none of the eyes are exactly the same shape. It just makes them look a little wonky and a little fun. And then while you've got that black out, you're going to fill in that nasal cavity, the nose holes. And again, if if it's not perfect, don't worry about it. There we go. So we got nose holes. Kind of like that, that droopy eye. I call it a sagging eye. And we're going to accentuate that when we put in our highlights, just make it look a little more droopy. And it gives the eye a nice little shape. That's kind of fun. And it gives you a chance to clean up, any little lines or areas that are perhaps not to your liking. That little bit of black will hide a bunch of little sins. So if you're not thrilled with the shape of the eyeballs, once you've got that orange in, you can correct a lot of things with this little bit of black. There we go. And again, we'll do the nose holes. So this part takes a little bit of time, getting all this black in there. And then we're going to base coat the skull with warm white. And again, that gives you an opportunity to clean up a little, a few little rough edges, sharpen things up a little bit. So they're looking pretty good. I'm rather happy with these eyeballs so far. And as I said, I've base coated mine using the orange just simply to match that candy corn, but there's nothing to stop you from using other colors for that. So if, say you did purple bats in the background, throw some purple around the eyes. If you like the pink that's in that lettering, go ahead and pull that pink into the eyes. It's not going to hurt anything. And at worst, your little characters, your little skulls are going to look a little more quirky and a little more unusual. And there's nothing wrong with that. super fun way to customize them. So I just try to keep colors so that the colors move around the surface. Except in this case with the lettering. The lettering has kind of been isolated to that dragon fruit and the Tuscan red. I don't really have it anyplace else, but that doesn't mean you couldn't put it someplace else. And I just kind of liked that pinkish red in this piece. Works well with the blue, works well with the white, works well with the orange. You could change it up, make that lime green or something like that if you wanted to. You can do whatever your little heart desires. My color choices are merely a suggestion. You're not obligated to use exactly what I used, ever. Not to mention, you could have some really great fun customizing some of this stuff. Making these little skulls completely unique. I was going through some old patterns and old designs last week, and I came across a set of ornaments that I did a number of years ago. And it had a few of these little skulls in it and cherries in the background, and I don't know, it was just a fun little piece, and it just kind of got me thinking. And so I sat down and I doodled this out, and then I thought this would just be a fun piece to do for Halloween. Nothing over the top, but just a fun little Halloween piece just to hang on the door, hang outside the door, hanging, wherever you want to put it. We had the biggest Halloween here last year that we had in years. It's almost as if, with the end of the pandemic, that people were getting out and doing more, which is nice. It's nice to see, especially the kids. They've kind of been cooped up and homeschooled, and they've put up with an awful lot in the last couple of years, so it's been kind of nice to hear them out going around. The latest trend here, kids are using those little electric scooters. We have them all over the place. The only unfortunate part is that the kids don't necessarily understand the rules of the road, and we have to remind ourselves daily to really watch our speed and keep your eyes peeled for some of these kids, because they're out on these little electric scooters. And not scooters, what's the word I'm looking for? They're those little two-wheeled, I guess, a scooter. Would have been a scooter when I was a kid. But they're electric. They've got this little motor on the back of them, and so these kids are just moving down these streets. And we forget that. So, but it's so nice to hear them out at the park and down at the playgrounds and out amongst their friends again. It's really nice. Kind of missed hearing that the last couple of years. There we go. So I'm going to dry this, and then we are ready to start putting in our skull. I like putting the black in. It just gives you the ability to clean everything up. Make sure this is nice and dry. So warm white is the color for this skull. I'm going to give myself a clean palette here. This one has seen better days. So I've got my palette. Grab a nice round brush here. Nice round and some warm white. I think I'm going to have to open another bottle of warm white. There we go. This one is getting very low. So I'm going to base coat the skull with warm white. And I've got one of those things. Don't you hate that? You get a brush that's got one hair. One measly little hair sticking out the end. And it's just enough to be irritating.
It's quiet.
There we go. No, I was just talking. I have an irritating little single bristle that's sticking out the end of my brush. Most irritating. So I'm putting a base coat of warm white down on my skulls. It'll probably take a couple of coats to get a decent amount of coverage on this, but again, I am not too worried about getting them absolutely perfectly opaque. So generally 2 coats will be ample for what I want.
The gray palette paper was actually a gift from somebody.
Yes, it was.
Because she has a hard time finding it here.
We've been having a really hard time finding it here, and dear friend went to Amazon and ordered me some. The funny part is that I tried ordering it on Amazon and couldn't and couldn't get any.
Would love to see Renee paint this using the neons. Sure would be pretty awesome. I'd be trying to get the texture of the skull. That's where I'd probably spend most of my time.
Yeah.
The Eek Boo Eek ornaments?
Eek Boo Eek is the original pattern.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a series of 3 little ornaments that I did. One had bats in the background, one had cherries, and one had dots, I think.
I missed quite a bit.
Renee's going back through the chat to see if
Missed
anything important.
Missed any? Because I was outside dealing with a dog. No, I didn't miss too much.
No, I've just been listening to me gab.
It's art. You can always change colors. Yep.
That's the fun part about this, is that you can do whatever you like to make this your own.
Woo! Watching you from Texas Roadhouse. A meal and a drink and watching Tracy. Is there anything better?
Texas Roadhouse, well done. Have a margarita for me. I learned something. The best margaritas are made in Texas.
Really?
I had the best margarita ever the last time I was in Texas. As you know, I'm not a huge fan of like traditional barbecue with all the barbecue sauce and whatnot. I don't care for that. I find it a little too rich. Best barbecue I've ever had in my life I had in Texas.
Of course. Glow-in-the-dark eyes would be cool.
Sure. Why not?
It was quiet. We behaved.
They behaved.
I highly doubt that.
They're a well-behaved bunch.
Ish.
Ish. So once you've got one coat on, just give it a little time to dry. Or hit it with your heat gun, like I am.
I'm making Chicago-style pizza in a cast-iron skillet tonight. Ooh, yum. Yum.
We're having chili.
We're having chili.
Leftover chili with biscuits.
Yum. They're not hockey pucks right now?
No.
No? They still good?
They're still good.
Right on. My brother loved living in Texas when he was stationed there.
I had the cutest phone call from my friend Diana Fow the other day. and chatted with her from Texas. She's a lovely lady.
Something about Texas.
Some of the best people I've ever met are from Texas. The one thing I will say about Texans, if you don't want to know, don't ask them.
I'm going to make this comparison. Texans are rural Italians.
All they want to do is feed you and, tell you precisely what's on their mind.
Yeah. Rural Italians.
Yeah.
I ended up at an Italian wedding because I was walking by at the time.
Yeah. I ended up at a Greek wedding that way. That was interesting.
Yeah. But, sorry, it wasn't the wedding. It was the reception.
The reception, yeah.
Yes.
You look like you're hungry. Get in here.
You look like you're hungry. Well, I did spend the last 4 months in Afghanistan, so I could eat.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's how it is.
Yeah. But something? That's how it is with French families, too.
Linda Johnson. Yup. Are those American-style biscuits? Ooh, no.
No, they're
mom-style biscuits.
They're mom-style biscuits.
Never heard us described that way? If you go to Italy and you end up outside of a major city and you start walking the countryside, and there's a wedding nearby or a reception nearby, you'll be fed.
Yep, somebody will feed you.
Somebody
God
will feed you.
God forbid you should go hungry. It's pretty much the same in the French Canadian community.
Yep.
Yeah. God forbid anybody should go hungry.
If there is a party, you will be fed.
Yep.
That's it.
Who are you? You're not part of the family? No. You look hungry. I'm not sure what looking hungry looks like, but...
And it's usually the father of the bride doing that.
Yeah.
Wedding crashes? Pretty much.
It's not really a wedding crash.
Yeah, because they invite you.
Yeah.
Italians don't throw food away.
Ever.
Neither
do French Canadians who be eating the same food for a week.
Yeah. They don't throw food away. They make sure everybody is fed. And if they still have too much food, they will start feeding complete strangers.
Yeah.
Have a rule. Don't ask me anything you don't want to an honest answer. But I'm never rude. Yeah, that sounds like a Texan.
Yeah.
I'm Texan born and raised, and you're right about being fed.
Yeah.
I'm not wrong. I've never been to Texas. I've met a lot of Texans.
Yeah.
And
I've been to Texas numerous times.
I've been to Italy, and I can make that comparison.
I've been to Texas numerous times, and I can vouch for that. Texans are wonderful.
Until you tick them off.
Well, that's just it. Texans will give as good as they get.
Yeah. That is true.
Oh my gosh, got paint all over my fingers. Here we go. So I'm just going to paint this one little skull in, and then I'm going to dry this, and then we're going to start shading this skull.
I have never met a rude Italian.
No. It would...
However,
they are
I have met a rude Sicilian.
Doesn't that matter?
There's apparently a big difference.
Well, yeah.
Italians sound like they're yelling at you.
Yeah. They're not.
They're not. They're just trying to get your attention.
Yeah. Yeah, they have no problem having discussions about everything.
We never have anything to throw away with all the kids that frequent the house. My husband calls us the village home of the wayward children. Yeah, sounds familiar.
Oh, when Renee was a teenager, I don't know. I think I had like 5 adopted boys. Fridays, everybody knew it was pizza night at our place.
Yeah.
So we always had a house full of teenagers.
And food.
Always had a house full of teenagers. Even if Renee wasn't home,
That's right, too.
I would have Nick or Steve or Gavin or,
I don't think...
not Gavin so much, but
No, Gavin didn't really show up much.
no, but I had Steve or Nick or Sean. I always had a house full of teenage boys. On Friday
Was the
night.
Sicilian connected?
He's Sicilian.
Probably.
But yeah, no, I can totally relate to the.
I'm married 55 years to a Sicilian from Brooklyn. So she knows.
Who's that?
Rosie. Oh, man, that is an Italian name. Mazzamuto?
Mazzamuto
Yeah. So you know.
from Brooklyn.
From Brooklyn.
Yeah, Brooklyn is an awesome, awesome part of New York.
Yeah, they don't lie.
It smack you right in the face with the truth.
As ugly as it may be.
One of my favorite places in New York is Brooklyn. It's amazing. Brooklyn's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it. But I love New York in general. Queens is such a neat part of New York City that has its own unique flavor. And Brooklyn has its own unique energy.
Yeah.
And I think that's what appealed to me about it. I spent a full day in Brooklyn doing demonstrations at this huge art store in Brooklyn. I was doing brush demos all day long, and it was just the dynamic in that part of the city is completely different. It's energy. People are vibrant and they're funny, and I think I've told you about this. We're in the heart of Brooklyn, go out to an Italian restaurant, and I'm crossing the street to get to the restaurant, and standing on the corner is a priest and an imam. Just standing there talking like, hello, how you doing today? It's good to see you. In the middle
Welcome
of
to
New York.
Brooklyn.
Welcome to Brooklyn. And then art everywhere, music everywhere. Windows are open and music is playing. It's just, there's an energy to Brooklyn that
It's
you
like
don't.
Osborne Village.
Oh, even more so.
Yeah?
Yeah, even more so. But it's all over Brooklyn. It's not just one little area. There's just this great dynamic in Brooklyn. It's wonderful. I've been there several times and I've enjoyed it every single time.
Greeks are very loud.
Yep,
Yep.
they are. I know. I lived across the street. When I was living in Germany, right across the street from us was a Greek restaurant.
Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah. That's a party.
And a very large Greek family. And my father got to know the owner of the restaurant. So, yeah, we ate a lot of Greek food. So now we're going to talk about painting.
Gotta love the Brooklyn accent. Okay. Sure.
You do. You got to love the Brooklyn accent. There's nothing quite like it.
The accent,
It's like Queens. Queens has got its own thing. Flushing Meadows, same thing again.
what was it? I was in Afghanistan, and I fell in love with this accent. I actually fell in love with the pilot because, well, she's tall, blonde, and flew an attack helicopter for a living, so she had my undivided attention.
Okay.
Yeah, and her call sign was Banshee.
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 Where was she from?
She was from Texas. And she was a good old girl.
A good old girl. Those are the finest guys.
Oh, yep. That was the love of my life in Afghanistan.
Banshee.
Yep. Banshee. And when she was flying around, you knew you were safe.
Okay.
Yep. She was a nice asset to have around up in the air.
Okay.
Really? You had to giggle at the...
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So, look, can we get back to the skulls?
No,
He's daydreaming now.
I miss Banshee.
Oh. So I'm using a little bit of asphaltum. I'm going to put a little shadow right here. That little indentation at the temple. I'm going to do it on both sides. Comme ça. It's just a little float. And I'm going to do the same thing under the cheekbone where it connects to the jaw on both sides. Now, these guys have a rather exaggerated cheekbone and orbital bone and no teeth. And I'm going to put a little divot under the nose piece right there. And I'm going to do the same thing right above the eyes, right there. And then I just sort of blend out that little back end of that. I just want sort of a little V-shaped divot. It's going to give him a little shape. And then we're going to put a float from the top midline of the skull down around the side like so. And don't forget to blend that out a little. And then I just put 2 little strokes underneath the eye. Just like that. It's not fancy. It's not elaborate, but it does shape the skull and give it a little bit of dimension. And I'm going to do the same thing to this guy.
I think they're laughing at me. What?
Well, I, for one, am not the least bit surprised that you're having romantic notions over a woman that goes by the name Banshee.
What? She flew
A
a
tackle?
Kiowa.
A scout?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's the American version of the Kiowa.
Yeah, it's a scout. Recce helicopter.
Yeah. But it's got 50 cals and rockets.
Okay.
I'm happy. And when I'm in the, 16 really? No.
What?
No, we got a bot.
Oh, we get a bot? Kick his bot out.
Beep, beep, beep.
So again, I'm just going to put that little shadow underneath the eye. Just like that. So he's not overworked. There's not a ton of detail that goes into this little guy. So we've got our shading in place. And I'm going to come back to that warm white. And I'm going to pick up a little bit to float. Because we're going to do these eyeballs. So on everything that we floated before this, we've left a little space. And we're going to do the same thing for this one. I want to leave maybe 1/8 of an inch. Maybe a little less. So it's a U-shaped float right on the eyeball, just like that. And it's leaving a little space between the black and the orange, just a little bit. So it's creating another sag, if you will. Another droop in the eyeball. Just like that. So if you look a little closer, you can see we've got an eyeball. And then there's that little tiny space, then the orange, and then the black. So now we've got 1, 2, 3 sags around the eyeball. And then we're going to take the end of our brush on any like a liner brush or something, or if you've got a stylus, use that. And we're going to put a dip dot right there towards the upper point. I put them both in the same place because I kind of like that sort of cross-eyed appearance that this guy has. Just like that. Look at that. So now he's got a nice quirky appearance to him. I just like the fact that they're kind of quirky looking, that they're not perfect. I just think they're fun. So each of these skulls would get the same treatment. Same with all of those little eyeballs. They're going to get that float system. So I'm going to dry this, and then we're going to go around and add a few little sketchy details to this. I like my gel pen for this because it's super fine. If you're more comfortable doing it with a liner brush, then by all means go ahead and do that. But I really like the look that I get with that little sketchy. Oops, wrong brush. There we go. So, of course I grabbed the one pen that's out of ink. And I missed again. So once this little guy is completely dry, you're going to go around everything. So all of those candy corns, they're going to get that squiggly line detail around the outside edge. Neatness doesn't count. Perfection is to be avoided at all costs. We are not looking for perfection for this. This is going to have a little bit of a distressed appearance. That's the whole point. So a little bit of line work around it. We're going to do the same thing to the lettering. And again, I'm not worried about getting it absolutely perfect. I get up to the edge of that paint. Inside those little bites, nibbles that are out of the lettering. Put that nice little dark line in there. Keep it loose. Doesn't need to be perfect. And go around the outside edge as well. So you're going to do this to each of the letters and all of those candy corn. Doesn't matter if that line work goes up onto the edge of the candy corn, that's okay. And all the way around the outside edge. And I do the same thing to the skulls. They're going to get the same treatment. So I'm going to come over to this little guy, and I'm just adding these little details, put that line around the outside. Just like that. You're going to do the same thing to those eyeballs. And on that little dip around the eye, like so, and around the edge of the skull. It does not have to be perfect. It's much more interesting if it's not.
Mm-hmm. Those dots bring them to life?
Yes, the little eyeballs. I'm a firm believer in that. That little punch of light in the eyeballs, suddenly they take on more character.
Pun intended.
Uh-huh.
Life.
Yep.
Into a skull.
Yep. It makes them come alive.
Now I want to paint Halloween.
Halloween, to me, is just, it should be very tongue-in-cheek and a lot of fun. And
yeah.
And I like this sketchy line. It softens things, makes them look a little less hard-edged, keeps them nice and loose-looking.
They look worried more than anything.
Yeah, I kind of like that little sad look,
Yeah.
I guess, yeah. It appeals to me. I kind of like it.
Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers.
This is just fun.
That's tomorrow.
It is.
We're making her brekkie, and we got some gifts for her. And then we're making her dinner. And she's got to tell us exactly what she wants for dinner. Otherwise, she's getting Taco Bell.
No.
Kidding. I don't wish Taco Bell upon my worst enemy.
I don't do Taco Bell. I don't do fast food if I can avoid it.
Yeah, you don't do tacos.
No, not a fan.
Except fish tacos.
Oh, I love fish tacos.
Fish tacos are delicious.
Although I'm, in general, I'm not a big fan of tortilla shells. I think that's the problem for me, is that I find them very sticky.
You can do them with and you're not a fan of corn flour in the first place.
No, it's not that I'm not a fan. It's my body's not a fan. It doesn't digest it well.
You can do it with a thin pita.
Well, I'd be all in. I like pita.
Like maybe an Arabic style pita or a Greek style pita.
Yep. Those I do.
There was a burrito place out in Gimli. I know that's
Of all places.
of all places out in Gimli. But they do a fish taco with locally caught pickerel. So good.
I had a great fish taco in California.
Of course.
And I had an even better one in Florida.
Really?
Yeah, fish taco in Florida.
Fish taco in Florida? Really?
Yep. Oh, if you're going to have fish, any place along the Gulf Coast.
But Caribbean fish? It just, I don't know. Water was not cold enough.
I had grouper when I was
Shrimp
down there.
tacos with lettuce shell. That sounds very Thai.
But still.
It sounds like Thai food.
So once you have all of your skulls done and you've got all of your line work done, you're going to spatter this. And I like to spatter mine with 2 colors. And in this particular case, I'm using a little bit of thinned warm white to spatter with. So I'm going to break out my fugly brush.
Of course.
And a little bit of thinned warm white.
Savory crepes and all the burrito fillings and cheese. Yum.
And I spatter lightly. I don't want it heavy, but I do want to create some background texture. I like the texture that it creates, putting it in there. And I don't have enough liquid in my brush here. Not getting enough.
Will
There we
the
go.
gel pen bleed when you spray it?
No, not when you spray it. I always spray seal everything, just out of habit mostly, but I spray seal it. I've never had it run on me with the spray seal. And I spray it because I never know how certain things are going to react to being varnished. So I prefer to spray set everything and then I'll go ahead and varnish after the fact. But no, I've never had it bleed, never had it fur, never had it do anything. It just stays put. That's why I like that Uniball pen. So I'm going to rinse out my brush and we're going to spatter it one more time, this time with a little bit of asphaltum or lamp black, whichever color you happen to have on your palette at the time. I've got asphaltum here, so I'll use that. And I'm just going to spatter over top of everything. I like the texture this creates. I like sort of that aged look that it creates. It's a lot of fun.
Taco Bell is not Mexican food.
No, it is not.
No, it's not.
I've had real Mexican food and it is so good.
Yes.
Yes, it doesn't
You're
taste
just not-
anything like Taco Bell.
Have you had like real Mexican-made refried beans?
No,
No.
I don't do refried beans.
I know, but it would change your mind.
Probably.
It would change your mind.
It probably would. So
So good.
that is how you get from just that plain blue background to boo.
To boo.
To boo. I mean, I like the fact that this guy even has little eyebrows. I just took the pen and I just drew in some little eyebrows. He's fun. These little guys are just fun. They're super easy and they're very forgiving. You don't have to be absolutely perfect.
I know how to make it Christmassy.
How?
How?
Ho, ho, ho. In there.
Yeah, have ho 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 in the background, and you have Christmas lights coming out their mouth.
Oh, okay. I could run cables all the way across them. We could string up little
Ta-da!
Christmas skulls.
Christmas skull.
So that is how you paint Boo. I think this is a fun piece. It is really a fun piece.
I'm gonna get a lot of hate for the Christmas skulls.
Probably. I don't know. People have asked me to paint Christmas skulls.
You should do one. I think a Christmas skull would be awesome. We had a nice message there. If I can scroll back up here. This is a really cute project. Not usually a fan of skulls, but this is a fun piece.
Yeah.
Love the eyes. Great tips along the way. Thanks. Happy Mother's Day to you, Tracy, and to all the moms watching. Have a great day.
Thank you. So Renee still has 2 prizes to draw.
2 prizes?
Yeah, we got to give away those.
Tombow markers?
We've got a set of Tombow markers to give away, and we still have another set of black gold brushes to give away.
I gotta switch cameras here.
So stick around, gang.
Don't run off.
Don't run off, because, you might have to
All right, we're going to do the brushes first once I click this button, I think. This button. This button. Yes?
I don't know.
Yes, that button. All right. The spin. Oop, didn't mean to do that.
Oh my goodness.
That looks like Debbie McClellan? Debbie McClellan.
Nice.
McClellan. And my Sharpie is in my back pocket.
So Debbie McClellan is a winner of our Dynasty Black Gold brushes.
M, little C, big C. McClellan. There you go. Dynasty brushes. And you get one of those Fandango brushes.
Yeah, you get one of those Fandangos. It's a really great brush.
Okay.
For doing all sorts of neat things. You're going to love that. So you got a nice little set of Dynasty Black Gold in there. And now we've got a set of Tombow dual brush pens. Now, if you have never worked with anything from Tombow, one, you're going to love these. You can work on watercolor paper, cardstock, or whatever you like. You can use them like a marker and color with them, or you can actually use them like a watercolor. So you can do all kinds of fun stuff with them. They blend really nicely. You can mix with water. And he's going to hit the spin button.
Spinning!
So you're going to enjoy them.
Yep, whoever you may be.
Still not spinning.
It's spinning.
I don't see that. There it goes. Who won it? I can't see the name yet. Wait. Ann Davies.
Ann Davies.
So, Ann Davis, you have, I think we have Ann's shipping information.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure we do.
I think I shipped something out to her.
Not too long ago. So, Ann, you have won a set of these Tombow dual end markers. This is the watercolor set. So, these are the most popular watercolor colors in the Tombow line. I love these. I have a complete set of them. They're fantastic. Super easy to work with, and you can do all kinds of cool stuff with them. So you've got a set of 10, plus it comes with a bonus marker, and that will go out in the mail to you on Monday.
Give me a second. I gotta read that. Hit this button. Boom. There you are.
Boom. There I am. So we've got lots of cool stuff going out this week. Next Saturday, we've got some fun stuff planned for you. We're going to be doing
Are we streaming on next Saturday?
Yes, we are.
We are?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We've got some fun stuff planned for you for next Saturday. Something a little more festive. I'm thinking Christmas. I don't know. I've got the holidays in mind already. It's summer and I'm thinking Christmas already. So it'll be something festive.
We haven't had consistent double-digit weather yet.
I know.
And you're already thinking about Christmas.
Well, I'm thinking about Halloween.
Fair enough.
What comes after Halloween? Christmas.
Thanksgiving.
Nah, it's too soon for that. But Christmas we can do. You can do Christmas anytime.
How is that too soon? It comes before Christmas. Should do something summer.
Summer?
Summer.
I'm all summered out already.
Really? You did a bunch of spring.
I did spring. I did a whole bunch of daisies. The membership group is doing the pieces back here, the Friends in My Garden. That's a very summer piece. So they're doing that this month.
I think it should say craft hard fart glitter instead of sweat glitter.
I'm really hoping I never craft quite that hard.
Craft so hard you fart glitter.
And if I do, then it's really neat.
Time to take a break.
So Saturday we're going to do something festive. It might end up being Thanksgiving. Who knows? We'll see. But we're going to have some fun. I have something planned for you. So it'll just be a matter of me finishing off the pattern and the instructions. What?
We didn't get to demo the Fandango.
No, I didn't.
Shall we demo the Fandango?
We could do that very quickly.
Okay, I'll switch cameras. Demo the Fandango.
Were we gently reminded?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Gently.
Gently reminded. It's not a bad thing. I don't mind
Christmas skulls, hint, hint.
Christmas skulls.
I think that would be cool.
I think it would
I
be.
think holly leaves with 3 little skulls in there
Instead of berries, little
instead
skulls.
of the berries. I think
Oh
it'd be
my
great.
gosh.
All right, I gotta switch cameras.
Okay, so I'm going to show you what happens to this thing when it gets wet. Ta-da! It's very cool. This is a cool, cool brush. So once you have that puppy loaded up with water, or glaze in this case, I picked up a little bit of glaze, you pick up your paint. It is such a neat brush. And then, watch this. You can just tickle the surface. It surprisingly, given how delicate this brush is, how much it will actually hold. So I'm just letting the tips of the brush touch the surface. So you can do
Hair.
fine, fine hair, heavy hair, layers and layers and layers.
It looks like a rake.
It does look like a rake, but it has a much longer bristle, but it surprisingly holds a lot more paint. It holds a ton of paint.
That brush makes me think of a type of dance.
Exactly.
Fandango.
Fandango. So this brush works so well when you hold it at a distance. So hold it back towards the end of the handle. And look. So you're very lightly touching the surface, but you don't have to reload it all that much. That's the cool part. And then because it is sparsely bristled, it doesn't take much to clean it out either.
I like the spatter with this brush.
Now that's a new one on me. Wow.
Did you... wow. Look at you. You're doing the Sandy McTeer spatter.
I'm doing this Sandy McTeer and I'm not wearing it. That's amazing. Never
Who was
thought of
that? Who was that?
Who gave you that tip?
Uh,
That was a great one.
Bernice Elvera.
Well, Bernice, thank you. I'm the spatter queen. I love spattering everything, but I have never thought of using a Fandango to do that.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! And look at that. It's a beautiful spatter. Okay. Bernice Alvera. I got your number. That's awesome. So that is your Fandango. And look at that. I learned something new. Never thought to spatter with it. What a great idea. I love that. Look how nice that spatter is. If I did that with any other brush, I'd have ended up with big globs on it.
Or on you.
Or on me. Most likely on me.
Yeah.
That would be. But fantastic brush. If you really want to see this thing dance, pardon the expression.
Really?
Go and check out Jelly Bean's videos on her website on how to use the Fandango. She's phenomenal with it. So that is the Fandango. All of our giveaway winners this week have got one of these in their prize pack. So don't be afraid to think of it. If you have a chance to play with it, you're getting a number 2 Fandango from Dynasty Black Gold.
All right, back to the camera.
Back we go.
Yes.
All right, guys, that's it for us this week. Thanks for joining us. As always, we really do appreciate it. We
Yes.
love having you join us every week. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please hit the big old red subscribe button and turn on the bell notification so that you know every time we go live and every time we post new video. And if you're not a member of our paid membership group, go and check it out. There's you can find some information about it, cost and what's involved and what you get for your investment in your time. That information is on the paid membership information page on my website at tracymoreau.net. And if you're out shopping, looking for some new stencils, some new toys to play with, have a peek around the site, look for the secret coupon code, and get a discount while you're there. All right, that's it for us this week. I think I managed to get that all said without drawing breath.
And it's Jilly Bean Fitzhenry?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
if you're looking for that brush, go check out Jilly Bean.
Yep.
And see her videos on how to use it too.
Yeah, fantastic videos on a variety of black gold brushes, and she stocks them too. So if you're
And
going
thank you,
to
Don.
throw her a little things, many thanks to everybody that sent us happy mail this week. We greatly appreciate it, and we love you. Mwah. And please stay safe.
Okay, I gotta switch cameras again.
He's got to switch cameras again
Yeah.
because he was hugging his mug.
I like my mug, Don.
Take care.
Bye now. Ace Ventura.